in a relationship, you have priorities and preferences, right? There are things that you will prioritize that you really want in someone. And then there have to be preferences where you're like, that's a bonus. I like that, but it's not all going to be there.
Would be nice.
Yeah, would be nice. Exactly.
Would be nice, not essential. I did that in my book. We did the list for you guys that don't remember. That. We did musts, would be nice, and red flags.
So we're on the same page.
Yeah, it's similar. It's a little bit similar, but it's for love addicts. It's for people who are hanging by a thread like me. So what is most important to you and your partner? I wanted to say honest and smart. And that is super important to me, but strong presence and power, I'm embarrassed to admit it and I'm ashamed, but I do lose attraction to people if they're not powerful.
Right.
Like I like to feel...
You shouldn't be ashamed of that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be embarrassed about that at all.
Okay. Tall.
Yeah.
All I care about is tall. I'm shallow.
Sure. But you should...
No, but I do need someone who feels powerful, who I feel protected by. I'm just looking for a father.
But that's... Yeah, but... I get it. But you definitely shouldn't feel embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's partly what it is that when we do these activities, we kind of look for the one that makes us feel the most comfortable and happy rather than the one that's actually true. And that's why we attract the wrong people into our life. And that's why we spend 10 years with someone and we're not sure they're the right person, but because they looked good on paper and
just be honest with
Tinder
yourself.
And
like as I'm taking this quiz, I'm trying to impress Jay with a good answer instead of saying the truth. This is
and the truth impresses me more than the impressing answer.
Yeah, that's the irony. People like you so much more. Well, like when you're trying to get validation from people, the irony is trying to get it and being unctuous is what's repellent.
Yeah.
So just being honest is what makes people like you. It's taken me so long to realize that.
And all of these ideas have been planted in our minds. Like I didn't put this in the book, and I know that I remember reading this in like marketing case studies and books, and it's been shared of this is so great. So I remember I remember deciding to propose to my wife. And this was 2014 that I proposed to my wife. We got married in 2016. So I'm deciding to propose to my wife, and I asked my friends who've proposed and got married, and I was like, well, okay, like where do I get a ring from, and how much do you spend on the ring? I don't know if you've heard this before. So literally all my friends tell me that you have to spend 2 months' salary on a ring, right? And I'm like, okay, and I spend 2 months' salary on a ring. I propose, my wife's really happy, and all the rest of it. Then I start looking into it, and I start seeing all these videos, all these case studies showing how there was a De Beers commercial. And this De Beers commercial, if you can watch it, find it on YouTube, literally Google on YouTube, De Beers commercial, diamond lasts forever. And literally, this was a time where I believe the diamond trade wasn't doing that well.
Wow.
And so all these diamond companies went all in on creating marketing campaigns around diamonds being central to a marriage and a proposal. And literally, I kid you not, you can watch it on YouTube, the last 6 seconds of this advert says, this is how you make a diamond this is how you make 2 months' salary last forever. How else can you make 2 months' salary last forever? And that advert's from like the 80s or the 90s or something. And here I am in 2014 living out that advert. And I'm thinking, wow, like, is that how my ideas around love have been formed, around created? And I would do them, it's just amazing when you face it that way and you go, oh, wow, that wasn't even my idea. Like, that wasn't even real.
You know how in the wedding gifts every year, it's like the first year is gold, the second year is paper, the third year is wood, like all these like arbitrary things. Go look at the list. I think year 10 is literally ivory. It's like dead elephants. Like that's how old this is. Like it's like something that is illegal and inhumane and just like I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is so sick. Like all of this weird materialist, and people don't talk about this enough, and I know this is a hot take that's going to get me canceled, but people don't talk about the unrealistic expectations put on men around this. Like people are like, romantic comedies, women saw romantic comedies and they have these completely unrealistic, men saw them too. We dragged them to movies. I tried to live a lot of them. Like I took my wife out the first time we went on our first ever date. I took her to this fancy restaurant and thought that she was going to love it. And she told me afterwards she would have rather walked down the aisle at Whole Foods. And she was just like, this is not me. But in my head, I was completely convinced that that's how you made a woman feel special. I remember watching, what was it? Bronx Tale. Yeah, there's the movie Bronx Tale. And in that movie, it said that if you get into a car with a woman and she doesn't lean over and open the car door for you after you've opened the car door for her, then she's not the right woman. Wait, what?
Yes. So I'll give you an example.
While you're driving?
So no. So I open the door for you.
Okay.
And you get in.
Got it.
Right? And then I walk around the side to go to the driver's seat. And if you don't lean over through the door and open it for me, then you are not the right person. And I remember seeing that in the Bronx Tale. I've still never forgotten it. And literally that would be like when I was in my teens, I was like, this is my way.
I'm not leaning over and opening your door.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
that would be wild. And then you open it and a car drives by and just hits the door. I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense.
It doesn't, but it's in the Bronx Tale, so.
I remember there was this time where like whenever a guy would lie or do something, he would like show up at my work or show up at the Comedy Store or whatever and make some grandiose gesture. And I was like, what do you do? And I was like, oh my God, there was like 10 years of romantic comedies where whenever a guy would cheat or lie, he would go to like an outdoor basketball court with his all white friends, always. And they'd be like, dude, you just gotta go to her work, go right now. Yeah. And the guy would run in while she would work, of course, at like a magazine. They all worked at magazines. And she'd be like giving a presentation. And the guy would be like knock on the glass and be like, I have to apologize. Like, it was always like, go to her work because it's a woman. How important could her job be?
Yeah.
And guys learned like, go to a woman's job
and
apologize.
Yeah.
Like, and guys would do it. Guys were like showing up at airports to stop women from getting on flights. Like, it was crazy for a while.
It's like, no, this was real money. It was actually a booked flight.
Did you buy a ticket?
Yeah.
Like, how did you even get through TSA?
Totally.
Like, I'm going to be late for this flight. I don't know. Are you paying for the return exchange fee? Like, what's happening? So I think we forget, and I know a lot of people, and I understand why that's in the zeitgeist right now of like unrealistic expectations for women, but it happens with men too, and you guys are expected to be chivalrous, but not too chivalrous, because that's patronizing. I think there's a lot of confusion that we're not talking about.
Yeah, I think everyone obviously has their own blocks and challenges and misconceptions, and that's why it's such a personal process to have to unlearn all of this.
Yes.
I mean, you literally just reminded me of that Notebook scene where Ryan Gosling literally says that he will drop himself from a Ferris wheel if Rachel McAdams does not agree to go out on a date with him.
So hot.
And it's like,
Why is that so hot?
It's like if someone literally told you that they were about to kill themselves. Like, it's a very serious topic. Like, it's a really serious issue if someone really said that to you in real life.
There is so much to unlearn, and I'm realizing how much shame is coming up around this stuff. This is a good question that I struggled with answering. What do you watch most often on TV? A, documentaries, biographies, and human observations. B, entertainment, politics, current affairs. C, comedy, sport, drama, motivational stories. D, soap operas, reality TV, family, gossip, daytime shows. I realize, and I'm curious if the motive matters, because I definitely watch documentaries, biographies the most, but it's because I'm insecure about my intelligence, and I look at, it's embarrassing to admit, but I watch TV as a way to try to get smarter, to try to get information, to try to be interesting, and to try, because my biggest fear in life is being boring in a conversation, or not knowing something that someone else knows, or like having the FOMO in a group where everyone's seen something and I haven't. So it's like if everyone's watching a documentary, I'm like, I have to watch it so that I'm not left out. So does it matter that that's why I pick A?
No, because it's mixed again. So what I heard in there is there was a lot of values and wisdom there. Like, you want to have more knowledge, you want to have more insight. Now, the reason you want to have it isn't perfect, but that's not bad. It's still it's better to be informed than uninformed.
Yeah.
So you're winning already. But I think all of us have to move in our values. So I'll give this is going to sum it up really beautifully. In the Bhagavad Gita, there's 3 intentions behind everything. And they're either the mode of ignorance, the mode of passion, or the mode of goodness. So there are these 3 modes that any action, any habit, any intention can be done in. So the mode of ignorance is when you do things out of fear or anxiety. The mode of passion is when you do things for desire or result. And the mode of goodness is when you do things from love or compassion, or curiosity, like that kind of like love or thirst. And so in that, most of us, including me, our state of being is very mode of ignorance. We do most of what we do out of fear and anxiety. And the problem with that is that when you do something out of fear and anxiety, it doesn't suddenly transform into love and compassion or joy or meaning or purpose. It stays that way and continues to perpetuate that cycle of needing to get more of that fear and anxiety. So that's something that we can push and upgrade from. So next time you want to do something and you're watching a documentary, be like, all right now I'm starting this by doing it because I'm scared of not looking smart or not being conversationalist. But actually, you know what? This time I'm going to intentionally change my intention to be, because I'm going to do it because I just love being informed and I want to be informed so I can share this. And you literally do that intentionally and you will see how your experience changes. Here are 3 signs you're struggling with a lack of purpose. Number 1, you feel pressure to know what you want to do with your life. Number 2, you've lost interest in your own life and feel disconnected. Number 3, you don't know what your skills are or you feel you lack them. Hope is not lost. You can get through this. Having purpose and meaning in our lives helps guide us through the ups and downs and create structure in our day-to-day life. That's why I've partnered with Calm, the leading app for mental health and wellness. The app has a library with thousands of meditations, songs to help you relax and focus, and sleep stories to help you get a good night's rest. And now you can find the Daily J, a daily series where I'm sharing proven tools and techniques to improve your mindset and mental health in a matter of minutes.